We're going to talk about personalization in this session. The session's titled Personalization is not just for the moment, but for the entire customer journey, which is easier said than done. Just a little context, we all know that personalized experiences are important. I think everyone has been trying to reach, to kind of take that journey to one-to-one personalization. But luckily, in this session, we have Meyar Sheik and Kacey Sharrett from GoPro joining us, and they're going to talk about how to achieve personalization. We're going to start off with Meyar. He is the global president of Insider, and then he's going to bring on Kacey Sharrett, who's the head of D2C at GoPro. So please join me in welcoming Meyar to the stage.
Thank you for your time this morning. Just a little about myself. I've been in the digital marketing e-commerce space forever. It's actually 24 years. They have to update the slide. And I guess personalization has always been a big passion of mine. And literally for the last 2 decades, I started a company called Certona. Some of you may have heard of it. We're big in personalization, product recommendation, and I do have a creepy patent for profiling and tracking visitors online, but it's all privacy friendly. And I'm a former recovering New Yorker living in San Diego now for 24 years, so always glad to be back. Just want to talk a little about the current state of tech stacks, because personalization is great and everybody wants to personalize and hyper-personalize, but as Veronica said, it's easier said than done because you need a lot of infrastructure, technology, and most important, data to do good personalization. So over the last 2 decades as e-commerce and digital marketing has evolved, we all try to work with the best solutions we had at the time to kind of build the e-commerce stack and the customer experience. So when you look at your own tech stack or website, you have all these different point solutions: reviews, web analytics, testing, site personalization, product recommendations, search. Now we're doing SMS marketing, live chat, retargeting. The list goes on and on and on, and I'm sure you have a lot more tags on your sites than what's listed here. And the problem is that this is hard to manage. You have to connect all these disparate systems and solutions together, deal with APIs and data consistency, and it's just a lot of work having to deal with multiple partners and providers and vendors, and so it takes a lot of effort. So one of the questions I always ask our prospects and clients is, are you customer-centric? Are you customer-driven? When you think about personalization, your digital marketing, are you really putting the customer or the shopper at the center of the universe? So I know this seems like a generic question, but it's really fundamental to how you do your personalization and your strategy. The other question is, you have to ask yourself, is my organization data-driven? Data is the new oil, I guess, in this economy, and it's the fuel that really powers any kind of personalization engine. And the better the data, the better the performance of the solution. So in terms of the future state or what the options are, there are now a number of these modular, modern, integrated platforms that actually are good at multiple things, so you don't have to always go get best-of-breed solutions. And then you can have the benefit of one integrated platform, one user interface, one data model, one set of reporting, and one throat to choke. So for those of you in the back, hopefully you can see this. But this is what an integrated modular platform should look like. So you have at the center some kind of a customer data platform that unifies all the different information about the customer and the shopper, does identity resolution, cross-device, cross-channel, segmentation. Then you have site and mobile personalization, experimentation, dynamically changing the experience for different visitors and shoppers. There is, of course, if you're selling products, you need a product recommendation engine. There is search, there is merchandising. Then you have the whole messaging side, which, of course, email continues to be a driver. Most of the retailers and brands I talk to, email is still responsible for 25 to 35% of their online revenue. There's SMS marketing, web push, and we're also seeing in other markets and countries huge growth of WhatsApp, which is in other countries is used for business, not just for families talking to each other. And of course, there's conversational commerce and chat. So there's a lot going on, and basically our platform at Insider is this. And then there's this customer journey orchestration that really ties all this together so that you're not just personalizing the moment of purchase, the moment of selection, but post-purchase, resell, upsell, cross-sell, so really customer lifetime value. And the customer journey orchestration is really one of the toughest things to do, but it's powerful because you're staying with your customer throughout his or her lifetime. So the beauty of this platform that it is modular. So you can start with, say, personalization or product recommendations or search. You don't have to really take the whole platform, and then you can plug in additional modules, all natively integrated, not a Frankenstein, like some of the big names we know that stitch different acquisitions together, and then you end up spending a lot of time becoming a systems integrator. Actually, I had a good friend in the industry who told me, I don't know why retailers and brands want to be systems integrators, because even systems integrators suck at being systems integrators. So, some of the brands that are doing this right, just a quick showcase for you. So Samsung, one of our global customers, is doing really well with web push notification. If you haven't done web push, it's when your browser, when it asks you to know your location or send you messages. And believe it or not, 10 to 15% of the anonymous and known shoppers, visitors, opt into that. We're not collecting any personal information, but then you can message that visitor, shopper, even if his or her browser is closed, right into the desktop or mobile. So it's a powerful way of recovering and targeting repeat visitors who are not known, who haven't opted in with their email address or mobile number. So we're seeing really solid 24% recovery rates with this kind of a retargeting through web push. Product recommendations, Avon is getting really good results with increase in average order value and click-through rate, doing personalized product recommendations that are tied to real-time behavior. And more of a content personalization, Adidas, just by changing the listing, the ranking of categories based on, again, previous visit and behavior, we're seeing significant lift in results and conversion rates by just making that experience more individualized. And another one of our clients, Naked, is leveraging our full customer journey orchestration capabilities, and they're seeing significant increase, about 25% increase in customer lifetime value. So just some quick examples of personalization. There's a lot more, but these are some really compelling results. So just a little about Insider. I'm assuming a lot of you haven't heard about or don't know about Insider, but we're actually a global company. We're in 28 different countries and been around for about 12 years. We're backed by Sequoia Capital and some of the other leading investors, and we're recently named Magic Quadrant leader for Gartner. We're actually proud of that, Forrester, IDC, but really what we're most proud of is our G2 ratings, where our customers are ranking us to be #1 consistently. And lots of clients, lots of team members. Here's sampling of our client base so you can get an idea. We're about 70-80% in retail and brands, and also other verticals and industries. And with that, I would like to ask Kacey Sharrett to come up. So I have to tell you that we had a bit of a challenge this morning. We actually had another client of ours that was supposed to speak with me, the CTO of Bell Corp. They're a big cosmetic brand, kind of like Avon and Mary Kay, and we've been doing a lot of great things with them. Unfortunately, he got stuck in Miami yesterday with all the rain that's going down, and his flight got canceled. And Kacey was kind enough to jump in literally last minute, and so we're gonna wing this, and I'll let Kacey introduce herself, but I've had the pleasure of knowing Kacey for many years. Full disclosure, GoPro is not a client of ours, but Kacey and I have worked together in the past at Toys R Us, and with that, Kacey, thank you.
All right.
Appreciate you saving my skin.
Well, you guys are stuck with me, so I don't know. Hopefully, we can have some good conversation. But no, not a client, but definitely a friend. And I've known Meyar for years and years, and soul to the earth. So happy to help. But good morning, everybody. So I work at GoPro. I lead the direct-to-consumer business. I've been there about 3 years. As Meyar alluded to, we met at Toys R Us. I was there for about 21 years, very early on, working in stores and then in omni-channel. And then did about 5 years or so.
Go back to
with the Barnes and Noble team.
Right?
Yes, all the way back. Well, actually back to Kids R Us, but I'm not sure that everybody would remember Kids R Us. That's
I do.
That's very early. Yes, we'd be dating ourselves. But yeah, so super excited. I think most people probably know GoPro as a brand. We're just about to announce tomorrow that we sold our 50 millionth camera.
All right.
And so, yeah, thank you. Good morning. Oh, you guys are awake. That's good. And most people know us for our cameras, but we kind of consider ourselves in kind of the memory making business and helping our consumers to, find ways to capture and share their content. So one of our product offerings is actually a subscription product. So when our consumers purchase our cameras, they have the opportunity to get a subscription as well. That subscription gives them unlimited cloud storage, way cheaper than you get with some other guys. You get a full camera replacement policy. You get discounts on the site, and so it's really cool. And that's a big part of our ecosystem. So, for us, that's another product, I guess, that we have to consider, bringing out there in front of the consumer. We've obviously got a lot of mounts and accessories. Company was founded in 2002, kind of created the whole segment. And we have some interesting personalization challenges, which happy to share, but I'm sure some folks in the room will relate. But we've got an interesting consumer to work with.
So I know this is a stupid question, but how many people don't know of GoPro? Literally no.
Two. Awesome.
So in terms of, obviously GoPro is not a classic retailer with a lot of SKUs and a deep catalog and people who come back frequently to purchase. So that presents unique challenges, right? And so how do you connect with your customers?
Yep. So great question, and just I think to add a little context to that, we've done too good of a job at manufacturing cameras that last forever. They're durable. You can drop them and do all kinds of crazy things with them, and you can't really ruin them. So we've got these cameras that are really built for some heavy stuff. So if you think about that, our consumers are not from, many brands will have repeat consumers that come back, several times a year, if not, sometimes, per month. So our consumers are not visiting us with that frequency. So it does make it very challenging, because when you think about typical personalization, it's like, wow, this is about how you get to know your consumer, and end to end, you're figuring out how to serve them content that's relevant for them. But we have to figure out, just even from the get-go, how to make the site feel like it's their own, how to engage them. And a lot of that is a lot of work, and you said it in the intro, a lot of data. Although our data is a little bit different, we do a lot of consumer insights so that we're trying to understand who that consumer is, and kind of segment. So, and by the way too, we don't always know where people are coming in from the site. Mm-hmm. And so if you come in on a homepage, you're maybe learning about the brand. It's a highly researched, discretionary product, but people are coming in and sometimes just don't know where to begin. So some of the things that we do is we take a look at the data and we say, okay, we've got kind of this set of active captures, people who are like diehard fans, and they're out every weekend on the slopes, and they're capturing their experiences, and then some people that maybe are more like me. And I love to capture moments with, my kids on vacation and the family and the pool, and I take advantage of that because, and I don't want to use my cell phone for things like that. So
they break too easily.
They do. They're super sensitive, but we don't. And even if they do, if you get the subscription, you're covered.
You're covered.
You're covered. You're covered. It's all good. But listen, it's all about taking a look at the consumers who are purchasing with you and sharing information and segmenting them, and then being able to apply that knowledge and that information to the site. So we do much more work, I would say, almost even up front with consumer insights and serving up the right site experience, as opposed to doing the really, really hard work of having them come back, because not everybody is ready to make that purchase with that frequency. So,
how many people own GoPros here?
Oh yeah.
Oh, see, there's still opportunity, right?
Yeah,
but it's actually more than I thought. Given how good the phones are getting.
You might want to ask them how old their GoPros are now. Just
yeah,
kidding.
how old?
I get a lot of those stories. I have a Hero 3, and I'm like, oh my God, that's like
What's
9 years ago.
What's the latest product right now?
Yep, so the Hero 12, but I will tell you, stay tuned, because we have a couple of launches in the fall, which are really, really exciting, and they're game changers.
Is that going to be 13? Or
well,
you can't spill the
really
beans?
say. Oh, sorry.
So when you go to the GoPro site, you have all these activities, right? That I guess they're like personas in a way, or segments.
Yeah. So this is actually what we did after we kind of got our data about our consumers. We said, okay, so if you're coming in, how do you want to shop? And by the way, our more mature segment of customers really likes to absorb. We find them coming in through desktop, and they like to kind of take in information. So for that population, we have what we call shop by activity on the site. So you can actually go through a lot of the activities that we know that our customers do, that they use our cameras for, and you have this content-rich, full-blown explanation of how to use the products, what mounts, what accessories, and we launched a new feature which actually shows you, we call it Get This Shot. So, we have great imagery on the site, right? That's one of the Like content is not a problem for us. It makes everybody jealous. But you can go on and you can see on some of our photos that we have on our site, you click on the icon and it shows you what settings, what camera, what mounts you used, and like we give like a pro tip, right?
Wow.
So it's very immersive and people spend a lot of time. Now, our younger set of consumers, we found that they like quizzes. So we have, a product that helps them to, find the right GoPro
product finder.
camera finder. Yeah. So they go in and they go through a series of questions, and then so what they get in return is like, in a couple questions they'll get, hey, we think this is the right product for you, and what have you, and just with one click they can add them to cart. But very different shoppers, right? And we find that people do need help. We have some hardcore consumers who are super into the tech. But we also found that tech, when you serve that up front to some consumers, it's overwhelming, right? So we kind of put that in a spot on the site where you can get to it, but it's not necessarily the first thing. And at GoPro, we take great pride in the tech. We have, amazing capabilities and features within the cameras that are, absolutely best in class. But not everybody wants to hear, what ISO settings. I mean, the average user, that's probably a little intimidating. So it's there, it's findable, but not everybody has to, get it right up front.
So you mentioned you have no shortage of content.
Yes.
Is it mostly user generated? Do you use your own content too, or?
So we do a lot of our own, as you would imagine, but user generated, we have many portals and many ways that you can engage with the brand. We have GoPro Awards, so you can actually submit your content for awards, and so we do that multiple times a year. We have a $1 million challenge where you can participate and get your share of the $1 million.
What's that all about?
Yeah, it's a fun way for you to say, I've got this great shot that I captured, and you send it in, and if it's a winner, then you split $1 million with however many other winners.
So who decides who's?
There's a panel of judges. They're super secret. It's not me. No bribes. But yeah. But it's a great way for us to see things through the eyes of our consumers. It's also a great way to really understand what your consumers are doing. So not typical customer data, but yet it gives us a window into who our consumers are.
So today, are you personalizing that content for the right, segment or individual? Do you have to tag all that content to?
Yeah, so we do personalize, but it's more, so on the site, it's more thinking about just, how is the consumer coming to find us and what's the level of information they're looking for. But what we do is, and we do use, I'm sorry to say AI this early in the morning. However, we have a great partner that we use that helps us on the email side. And what we found is just a little bit of information. We can be predictive about what type of content they respond to. It's very typical personalization type things,
Right.
But we're able to get the content to people that they're looking for and they respond.
Because you really have a core product, right? So it's not like product recommendations going to help you that much, other than accessories,
yes,
right?
Accessories is big, and sometimes people will come back for that secondary purchase. But we also, we sell on Amazon, and to be honest with you, Amazon is where a lot of people are doing their shopping. They're very comfortable there, and so it's kind of an add-on purchase. Sometimes they're not necessarily always back to the site. So we have to do a lot of extra work to bring them back.
Bring it back.
Yeah.
When they're buying direct, are you following up with those emails or messages for the additional accessories and upsell?
Yeah. You talked about the journey. Actually, that's what that's the title of the presentation or the fireside chat. So yeah, absolutely, throughout that journey, and we have multiple touch points. So again, the product itself, right? You've got a camera. I've spent a lot of money trying to get the right information to the consumer so that they can feel comfortable using it. So one of the things that we do is we have multiple journeys, and again, they're based on triggers and based on information that we know, but we'll kind of help people through the setup process, about the time that they're receiving the camera, getting into the app, how to use it, a lot of tips and tricks, so a lot of immersive content, and we do find we've got, some really good success with people getting engaged with us that way. We also have, I think it's about 50% of our visitors to the site are not actually going into the shopping funnel to start. They actually come in. So we have a lot of content on the site that is also directed to, how to help you make the most of your GoPro. And so we have, kind of night effects that we have on the camera, like all kinds of settings that you can have loads and loads of fun with, just regular consumers, all kinds of super fun stuff with easy push of a button. So we become a little bit of a one-stop shop for that there, but yeah, super fun.
That's, so in terms of, and if this is too sensitive, please tell me you can't answer it, but in terms of since I talked about the messaging channels, email, SMS, web push, are you using all of those? I'm doing discovery for my own follow-up to sell you things, but what is, joking aside, what's been most effective for you in terms of channels? Are you doing web push or mobile push?
Yes, so we do, yes, yes, period, all of the above, right? To the question of what's most successful, what we're finding as our SMS database is growing, that's super effective.
Is that more for the younger audience, or it doesn't matter?
I think SMS is like pretty broadly people are using their phones, right? But we also, in our app, we have an editing app, right, which is also intended to help people take their content and be able to share it super easily out to their social channels. We also, push from the app as well. But again, different content, different audiences. I will tell you that, of course, the promotional messages are the ones that we have the highest, take rates on, of course. But a lot of people do come in and do like to check out our new products, so those are successful too. So.
Because we heard like email is dead, or email is, but it's not. It's still going strong. So are you seeing the same thing, or?
Email, well, so again, I think there's a reason why people come back and look for our content, right? And so they'll go through the inbox and search for some things. So I think generally speaking within the industry, you probably have higher open rates. I'll tell you, this is like crazy, but in the fall last year, we said, we had the same thought, like what's going on with email? And we actually sent a postcard out. We actually like went back and said, physical mail, like let's get a postcard out. And we had this cool campaign called, Official Camera of Fun. And we said, you know what, this is more of an awareness play. And we said, you know what, let's put a QR code linking out to, we had 15 seconds or whatever of footage, and some of that from our consumers. And so we said, okay, let's put this QR code and let's see what our take rates are and see if that drives some awareness as we were going into holiday. And we had really, really great click-through rates. And it wasn't a promo. It wasn't anything other than just, hey, a way to check out some really cool stuff. So, and
old
for
direct
us,
mail.
Yeah, direct mail. I know. Who would have thought? But for us, part of what we need to do is remind people that they have that GoPro, because if we asked everybody who has them, when the last time was they used them, is it in the sock drawer and you take it out maybe for vacation? Sometimes you have to remind people that, oh yeah, that's right, I have it. I should take it out and capture some of these, fun memories. So, and that's what our brand is all about.
Well, we're running out of time now, and I guess final question is any takeaways, anything, lessons learned from your journey at GoPro in terms of unique challenges to personalize with not as much data as a typical retailer?
Yeah, so I don't have a ton of words of wisdom there, but here I do have a good one, which applies for everybody regardless of the business that you're in. You are at an amazing show, amazing conference, and there are amazing people that are here that what I would say to you, best advice is, take a look at your vendors as partners. These are people who spend every waking moment in an area of their business that they are an expert. So, I saw Meyar yesterday passing by, and that's probably why I got the phone call, but, I had the opportunity to see him, and I consider him a friend, and in a heartbeat, I would reach out to say, hey, I'm trying to solve this problem, and I think that, great partners are there to be partners for you, and you should take advantage of those relationships. You should ask them what you could be doing differently, how you could be better, regularly meet with them, regularly check, on your business on both sides, because you know, we all have choices on how to spend our money and where to spend our money. And, you know, you've got great partners out there. And this show is about discovery of those partners. So take advantage. And I know it's a little hard. Let me scan, let me send you lots of stuff. But, you know, one of the things that's just amazing is just how many great people there are in the industry and how beneficial those relationships can be for everybody. So,
well, you're one of those great people, Kacey, and thank you very much for doing this in a hurry, and thank you all for your attention.